Jeff and his wife owned a second home that was costing them $1,800 every month. They lived more than 1,000 miles away. The house had water damage, and his wife was dealing with a serious medical condition. He didn't need another project. He needed someone to take the entire problem off his hands. I'm John Alexander with Strant Properties. We work with homeowners who have properties they need to sell, including houses that need repairs, are filled with belongings, or have simply become too much to manage. Jeff's story is a perfect example. Jeff and his wife own a second home in the Villages in northern Florida, but their primary home was in New York. They filled out an online form saying that they were interested in selling. When I called Jeff, he explained that he could be in Florida in about 10 days and wanted to meet at the property. The house was about 2 hours from me, but I agreed to meet him and see whether we could help. When we sat down at the dining room table, Jeff and his wife made their priorities very clear. They wanted to sell the property completely as is. They didn't want to make repairs. They didn't want to remove the furniture or clean out the house. They even wanted to leave the golf cart in the garage. They wanted to take what they could fit into their car and walk away from everything else. Once I started looking through the property, I found some problems that would have made a traditional sale more difficult. The house had a very strong cigarette smoke odor, as it was obvious they were both smokers. This would require professional cleaning and treatment. More importantly, the air conditioning unit in the garage had leaked when they were away, and water had saturated the platform under the unit, worked its way into the wall leading into the kitchen, into the cabinets, and it was a big problem. This wasn't something that could simply be covered with a coat of paint. Jeff already knew that the property had issues, but his biggest problem wasn't the water damage. It was everything else happening in his life. His wife was suffering from dementia, and caring for her was his priority. Meanwhile, a house they would never use again was costing them approximately $1,800 every single month. He didn't want to hire contractors, supervise repairs from New York, or make repeated trips to Florida. He just wanted the burden gone. We took the condition of the property and the cost of the needed work into account and agreed on an as-is price. And about a month later, the sale was completed. Repairs were done, and Jeff and his wife took only what would fit inside their car. They left the furniture, the dishes, the clothing, the golf clubs, and all the other belongings behind. They didn't have to repair the damage, clean out the house, or prepare it for showings. Afterward, we coordinated the cleanup and the necessary repairs, including correcting the water damage. The home eventually went to an Army veteran who was able to move from Puerto Rico and purchase the home using a VA loan. The veteran received a nice home, and Jeff was finally free from a property that had become an expensive and unnecessary worry. Selling a house isn't about squeezing every possible dollar out of it. If you have the time and the money to make repairs, clean out the property, and wait for a retail buyer, listing with an agent may be your best option. But often, the most important thing is solving the problem quickly and getting your freedom back. If you own a property that has become more trouble than it's worth, Strant Properties may be able to help. The house can need repairs, it can be filled with belongings, you can even live in another state. Contact us and tell us about the property. There's no obligation, and if we're not the right solution, we'll be honest with you about that. I'm John Alexander with Strant Properties. Let's see if we can take that property problem off your plate.